welcome to Drawing Furry Friends of the Saints. In this episode, we will be drawing the fox who was friends with Saint Kieran of Clonmacnoise. When Saint Kieran was a student, he had a pet fox who would carry a book of psalms, or psalter, back and forth between him and his teacher. One day, the fox became hungry along the way and started eating the leather straps on the book. While the fox was eating, a group of hunting dogs found him and started to chase after him. The fox couldn't find shelter anywhere, so finally ran back to Saint Kieran and hid in his cowl, or hood. In this way, the fox was protected from the hunting dogs, and the book was protected from being eaten by the fox. Now, before we begin our drawing, you will need a piece of paper, a pencil, a black or dark colored marker, and whatever else you would like to color and finish your drawing. If at any point in the video you need to catch up, don't be afraid to pause and then start again when you are ready. Let's begin with the fox's head. Since our fox is turned sideways, we will start by drawing a diagonal line down for the top of his head. Next, let's continue that line straight down and then across at a diagonal again for his nose. Foxes have long, thin snouts, so let's draw a little bump for where his nose will be, and then curve that line back down and around for the top of his mouth. Starting a little more than halfway across that line you drew, let's add one more small curved line for his chin. Okay, let's move back up to that pointy tip you drew for the end of his snout, and let's add a backwards C shape to finish his little nose. From the bottom of his nose, draw a straight line parallel to the top of his snout, and let's loop it all the way around to connect to the line you drew for his chin. This will be his face. Moving to the top of his head, let's draw a diagonal line up and then back down again to make one of his pointy ears. Now, since his other ear is behind the one we just drew, beginning a little to the left of the ear you drew, let's draw another diagonal line up and then back down to connect with the edge of his front ear. Now, to finish the head, let's add a slightly curved diagonal line for the back of his head and neck. Next, moving a little ways in from the line you just drew, let's add another diagonal line that's parallel or moving in the same direction as the line for the back of his head. Let's add a few little zigzags or a little V shape, and then one more diagonal line moving toward his chin. Finally, to finish his face, let's add a little curved line for his happy eye. Okay, now let's work on the fox's body. Moving back to that line you drew for the back of his head, let's continue to make it a bit longer for his back, and then curve it slightly to show our fox will be sitting. Next, let's add his tail. For this fox, I thought it would be fun to give him a nice long tail. So let's draw a big curved line and then continue the line until it is right below where the fox's nose begins. Then let's draw a line back, curving the opposite direction to give his tail a nice point. When you get close to his back, let's curve the line up a bit. Be sure to leave space between his tail line and the back. To finish our drawing, let's add legs. Since the fox's tail is in front, we will add a few lines to show that his legs are hiding behind the tail. Beginning at the fox's chin, draw a curved candy cane line to touch his tail. Moving over a little bit to the right, add one more short straight line to show where his front leg is. Scooting over closer to his back, draw a curved C shape to touch his tail. This is his back leg. Finally, let's add a zigzag line going across his tail to add some extra detail. Now, before you start coloring, if you decide you'd like to trace over your lines with a black marker, you are welcome to do so, but it's not necessary. You can finish your drawing using whatever art supplies you'd like to color in your fox. Red is one of my favorite colors, so I'm going to make my fox a nice bright red. If you have time, I'd invite you to look for pictures of foxes in books or online to find out more about the beautiful colors God has given them. And just like that, you've drawn the fox who was friends with Saint Kieran of Clonmacnoise. Thanks for drawing with me today. I hope you're inspired to continue drawing furry friends of the saints. May the Lord bless you and keep you always.